When we think about enhanced athletes, and I don't want to spend too much on this podcast kind of going into the enhanced games. If people are interested, we'll put links in the description. It's been talked about in other podcasts. It was enhanced.com. You
Hmm.
can go find out all the information that you want. In real simple terms, just to kind of set the stage, right? Enhanced games, athletes are allowed to use performance enhancing drugs that are otherwise banned at, let's say, something like the Olympics. So when we look at these athletes who are quote unquote enhanced, um, the hypothesis, right, is that they're going to be a lot faster than those who are not enhanced. And so, how I'm curious, like, what kind of effect do you think that's going to have on athletics as a whole when we go into the whole comparison thing? If let's say someone who is not enhanced is seeing that someone who is enhanced is swimming, I don't know, let's say 21 seconds or whatever it is, do you think that that's going to push that frontier as well? Like, does that make sense? Like, do you think it's going to push everyone together, or how do you think that's going to affect like overall athletics?
I do. I really do. I think so. Ultimately, we only believe what we see generally, right? Like, so if you see somebody swimming fast, you believe that you can do it no matter what. You don't know what that person is doing. I don't know what that person is doing now. I can't tell you whether somebody's, completely clean or not clean, or what they're doing behind closed doors. But when I see a performance, it makes me believe that I can do it. And I think that will ultimately pull everybody up. I believe there will be athletes who watch the enhanced games and say, I can do that. I can swim that fast, and it'll have an effect on them in a really positive way. And then there'll be other athletes who say, I'm part of the enhanced games, and I'm doing things that I didn't think were possible. So yeah, it'll be exciting to see how far we can push human limits and potential with the enhanced games.
I had Dr. Aaron D'Souza, who is one of the co-founders of the Enhanced Games, on this podcast, one of my most recent guests. And towards the end of the podcast, we started talking about AI and just this idea that, listen, whether you like it or not, you have to embrace technology. If you go back into the early 2000s, those who did not embrace the internet were unfortunately left behind. Those who did, such as the Jeff Bezoses of the world, cashed in tremendously on this new technology. So Aaron's whole point was, listen, you got to embrace technology. AI is coming whether you like it or not. Try to figure out how to best use it, right? Maximize productivity, efficiency, whatever you want to do, et cetera, et cetera. So I kind of took that as a blind trust, maybe too strong of a phrase. But certainly, again, embrace it or you're going to get left behind. Do you think that performance enhancing drugs are going to have a similar kind of ideology behind it once the enhanced games kicks off and people start seeing the results? Is it going to be one of those things where you either embrace the power of what these drugs can give you, or you kind of get left behind? Like, do you think we're going to get to that state?
Yeah, look, there's two things I want to say about that. First of all, as a professional athlete for 7 years, I punished myself. Like I pushed my body so hard. And when I hear people say that it's dangerous, right? That performance enhancing drugs are dangerous, it's unhealthy. Everything I did in athletics was unhealthy. I woke up every day and said, I'm gonna destroy my body today. And that would make me mentally tougher. And that's what athletes are doing in every sport, every single day. You think it's healthy to play football? You think it's healthy to throw 100-mile-an-hour fastball, 100 times a day? Like, nothing we do in athletics is healthy, And so this idea of health is one thing. But I will say this. I have met many people since joining the Enhanced Games who have dedicated their lives to understanding the science of performance enhancing drugs. Like, I have met doctors and endocrinologists and cardiologists and, all sorts of people who have dedicated their lives to understanding the human body and drugs and all sorts of things that can help us and these people are really smart people, and they understand it way better than I understand it, and we're using those people as part of the enhanced team to surround our athletes with the best technology, the best science, the best care, so that these athletes will be well looked after, way beyond anything that happened when I was an Olympic athlete or some of my athletes were training. We didn't have this level of care and this level of understanding and these people around us that were going to monitor us and were focused on us and giving us the science and giving us their life's work to help us become better athletes. So basically what I'm saying here is that I'm more excited about the potential with the enhanced games of what it can do for athletes and their health than anything I've been associated with in the past.
Do you think that we've done a huge disservice to a lot of athletes by not understanding the health risks that are associated with some of the sports that these athletes shoot? I mean, swimming is an excellent example. You just mentioned it, right? The endless hours, the not only the mileage that you put on your body but on your mind as well, which a lot of people forget. Mm-hmm. And I don't have statistics or facts to back this up. I do want to become smarter about it. But I do get this feeling that many athletes go through a lot of pain, in their later years, just based off of, I mean, logically speaking, that's what seems, again, I don't have any statistics or facts to back this up, but seems like that would make sense. Do you think that we've done a disservice to those athletes by not fully grasping the health effects of some of, these sports and these careers?
Yeah, I think. Look, I think that we can do things better, and that's why I've joined the enhanced team. I think there's a better way to do it. I think there's a smarter way to do it. Look, who's to say that this particular drug should be banned and this one is okay? Like right now, for instance, I'll give you a simple example, right? Caffeine. Caffeine is a real basic stimulant, right? But if you have 10 coffees in one sitting, it's going to cause some real effects, like real dangerous effects, right? And they're saying right now that caffeine is legal. It's okay. You're clean if you drink 10 coffees in one sitting. Like that could be really dangerous. And caffeine, they're putting caffeine in everything these days. They're putting in energy drinks, and these kids are just pounding these energy drinks, and they're really extremely dangerous the more that you consume them. And we're saying that that's okay and that's legal. And I just have a real problem with things like that where we draw this line between that's okay and this isn't okay. Well, what I want to do is I want to have an understanding of all of this stuff. I want to have a deep understanding of caffeine and what it can do to the human body and what it does for kids and why it's dangerous and why it should be regulated and monitored but I want to understand all of it. I don't just want to say, well, you told me this is bad, so I should stay away from that, but this is okay. Like to me, it's just like we should understand all of this stuff, and I don't know who's making the rules on what's okay and what's not, because there's plenty of stuff that is really dangerous out there, and I think we turn a blind eye to it, and society says, these things are normal and okay, and I think they're really dangerous. So I don't know if I answered the question there, but I just think that what I've tried to do is have a deeper understanding of all of the drugs and what they can do, and how can we best utilize them in a safe and controlled environment. And I think the biggest comparison that we've had in the past is talking point is, they say anabolic steroids, for instance, have been used in bodybuilding, right? And bodybuilders take enormous amounts of this stuff, and it's really dangerous. Well, we're not trying to be bodybuilders, and we're just trying to be the best athletes we can be. And there's ways to do this in a very safe environment, in a very safe manner. And these are the doctors that I'm trusting and listening to. And that's what I'm most excited about is the longevity of these athletes. Like most athletes beat themselves up so hard, but by the age of 30, they're just done. They can't take it physically and mentally anymore. Well, we're saying, look, if we do it smarter and we do it in a controlled way, we could be, really effective in our sport into our 40s, maybe even into our 50s, So that's exciting for me, is the longevity of the sport as well. You may be able to push out your careers, and get more people like LeBron James and Tom Brady and these types of athletes who are really highly competitive into their 40s.